How's it going, Islanders? Welcome back. Today is going to be another video in my How to Understand Python series. More specifically, we're going to be talking about numbers and what we can do inside of Python with numbers. So sit back, relax, with your favorite snack, and let's get started, shall we? Alright, so I have JupyterLab up on the screen, and the very first thing we're going to do is, of course, we're going to type in a variable. So, if I can get the mouse over here, let's go with first as my first variable. So first, and let's set this equal to 12. The variable type that first is actually an integer type. And the definition of an integer type variable inside of Python, as well as any programming language, is a number without a decimal. That is essentially what an integer value is. So this is an integer. And we're just going to say print first. All right. It's going to be 12. Now let's add in another variable. So let's just say second equals 2. And this is also an integer. Print two. Alright. So what can you do with these? Well, the first thing you can do is you can really do anything you can do with a number you can do inside of Python. So let's say a new variable called add, and we're going to say this equals first plus second. All right. And we're going to just print out the answer. Add, and that is 14. Another thing you can do is you can actually do subtraction, and how you do subtraction, we're just going to say sub equals first minus second. All right. All right. Now you can also do multiplication as well as division. So MUL, let's just say mult equals second times. You do not have to, so everything that you plug in to adding, subtracting, multiplication, division, it doesn't have to be a variable. It doesn't have to be a variable that you're typing in. You can simply just do like I'm doing right now. Second times 4. So let's just print that out. And then that is 8. So we can also do some division real quick. Alright, so as all of you can see, the division variable actually spit out a different type of number that we've been seeing. So as all of you can see, none of these have had decimals at the end. However, div actually does. It has 6.0. This is actually not considered an integer. This is actually called a float, a double. I like to call them doubles. They basically mean the same exact thing. A float and a double, they each one of them take up a different space of memory inside of your computer, but they're basically the same. Now, you can do, with floats, you can do the same exact thing with integers. You can add them, subtract them, multiply them, do whatever you really want. You can do the same exact thing with doubles. However, you can also, now that doesn't mean you can only use doubles with doubles. You can actually use doubles with integers. So let's just say print, oh, you didn't come out as a code cell. So print div plus first. All right. Now, whenever you do this, the output is going to be a type float, all right, or a type double. Now, whenever you do this, when you combine an integer and a double together, or a float, output's always going to be in double format. So as all of you are going to see in a sec, it is a float right there. Now you can also verify what type your variable is by simply just doing print type div plus first. Alright, and it's going to say class is a float. Float, double, remember they're basically the same exact thing. Now, it's not just limited to stuff like that. You can also do order of operations with inside of Python. And you can do that just by doing this. Let's say order, O-R, equals first plus second times dvi plus 0.1. All right. Now, that 0.1 is considered a float. Any number that has a decimal, it can be 0.1, 1.0, that is considered a float. All right. Now, hit enter, and let's just print this out. Print order. All right. 84.1. Now, you can also do exponents with Python. All right. So exponents is actually simpler than you think inside of Python. And really all it is we're just going to say xp equals first times second. Now this is the same equivalency as 12. This is the same as 12 a second. All right, and let's just print it so that all of you can see. 144. All right, so this is really the basics that you can do within Python with math. You can do all sorts of stuff. Like some of you have probably seen the other videos I posted, where I posted videos about machine learning. And if you haven't, go check out my last video where I show how to begin with machine learning. But those are really advanced versions of math inside of Python. If you can understand this basic stuff, then you can understand machine learning. And I really encourage all of you to really understand Python so you can develop your understanding further within, so you can do all sorts of exciting stuff like machine learning, artificial intelligence. The basics of it is all right here. Like I said, master this and everything else will come a lot easier for you. Now, that is not the end of today's video. One of the last things I want to talk about inside this video is I actually want to talk about another very important concept for programmers, and that is commenting, all right? This is considered comments, all right? And in every programming language, they have some sort of format for commenting within the language. For Python, it is hashtag, number sign, whatever you want to call this little thing right here. That is how you say to the computer that this is a comment. The computer knows, as soon as you put this in front of any words, the interpreter knows that whatever comes after it, do not pay attention to it. All right, but comments is a very crucial part for programmers. It allows us to write notes for ourselves as well as for other programmers, that when we come back to this code, we understand what this line is talking about. Now, I'm not saying to do as extreme as I did inside of this video. More like do enough so that you understand what is going on. All right, I can't tell you how many times I have gone into a program where I was at the beginning of the program, I thought I didn't have to use comments. And then I stepped away from it for about a month, and then I tried coming back, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I really wish I had comments inside of that code so I could know what is going on. But doing programming like variables, multiplication, or whatever you really want to do, you have to make it simple. All right, so another thing I want to go over inside this, when you're programming, you really want to make it simple. Simple is the best thing you can do. You do not, chances are, if you're doing some elaborate mathematical algorithm for your program, a lot of times you don't need something that crazy. A lot of times simple is the best thing for you. And Python actually does a really cool thing, does two really cool things, so that it's simple as well as you can understand what is going on. And those two things is doing stuff like underscoring. So we're going to set a new variable called under, and we're going to set it equal to 1400, all right? This is the same equivalency as 1400, all right? And to prove that, I'm going to say print under minus 14, 1, 2, 3. All right, hit enter. Oh, too many zeros. 0, all right? And so underscores essentially means that it's just splitting out the numbers so that you can understand, so that's simpler for you to understand what is going on inside of your code. Now, another thing you can do to make your code even more simpler, you can do multiple assignments within one line, and you can do that just by doing this, which is, let's just say test 1. Then we're going to separate the next variable with a comma, test 2, and then we're just going to say test 3. All right, we're going to say this equals 1, 2, 3. So the 1's going to go to test 1, the 2 is going to go to test 2, test 3 is going to get 3. And I can prove this by just doing print test 1, print test 2, and then print test 3. All right, 1, 2, 3. Now there's also one thing I want all of you to try at home, and that is opening up your Python interpreter and just typing in 2 words. Import this. All right. It is going to give you the Zen of Python by Tim Peters. Tim Peters came up with this, and essentially what it is, he made this little poem to remind Python programmers to make their code simple so that you can understand, as well as other Python programmers can understand, because chances are the program that you're writing, other Python programmers are going to want to refer to it later down in the road. And so I really want all of you to, what I really suggest is that you open up your Python interpreter, whatever it is, JupyterLab, Jupyter Notebook, Spider, PyCharm. Just type this in and see what it says. You can even open up your terminal on your computer, call the Python interpreter through your terminal, and type this in. Read it through, and then let me know down in the comments what you think about this. All right, that is all I have for today's video. For those of you that have watched this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. It means so much to me. It means so much to me that so many of you find my videos to have such value to watch it all the way through. And for those of you that watched my video, my last video that I just posted, all of you will know that I suggested a resource for all of you, and that was that machine learning book. For today's video, I'm going to recommend this book, Python Crash Course by Eric Matthes. This book is a really good thing. It's a really great resource to have when you're just starting off with Python. And a lot of the stuff that I'll be going over in this series will be coming from this book, as well as other resources that I have. And at the end of each video, I'm going to tell all of you where I got the resources for today's video. Honestly, this is a great book to get. A link to this book, as well as all the code that I went over in today's video, will be down in the description bar down below. So if you want to grab this book, or if you want to look over the code from today's video, please go check it out down below. And if you have any questions about the code or anything else Python machine learning, leave it down in the comment section. If you found this video to have a lot of value, please consider hitting that like button. It really does help support this channel, and it really does make my day when so many of you hit the like button down below. So for those of you that hit the like button in my last video, thank you so much. If you find Python interesting and you want to learn more about Python, or you want to learn more about what you can do with Python, please consider hitting that subscription button, as well as that bell icon, so you can get notified when I post my next video, which will be in 2 weeks. All right, so just so that I can balance both being a student as well as being a YouTuber, so that I can give all of you the best content I possibly can. And I'm going to stop talking now. I'll see all of you in 2 weeks. Bye. Have a good one. I'll see you all in the next video, which will be another video on machine learning. So I hope all of you are excited, and I'll see all of you there.